Welcome to Colonie TV, the governmental educational channel for the town of Colonie.
Hi, I'm Supervisor Paula Mahan, and welcome to Colonie Connect. Today, my guest is Joe LaCivita. Joe is our Planning and Economic Development Director in the town of Colonie. Hi, Joe.
Hi, thank you. Thank you very much.
Glad you could be here this morning.
You're welcome. Yeah.
We're going to talk a lot about all the big happenings around town. Before we get to some of the specific areas, can you talk a little bit about the updates on our website regarding planning and economic development?
Sure. We've been working with the Craig Schufelt from the Schufelt Group, and one of the things that we saw that the town was lacking when we started looking at other municipalities was really what information we were putting on our website, because everything seems to be driven now by web development. So we're working with an economic development portal where people can go. People can go to Planning and Economic Development. They can go to our IDA website, our local development website, and also our small business advisory website, see what everything is doing. We're looking at working on electronic submissions, electronic information for what's happening at the planning board, what's been approved at the planning board. Because once a planning project has been done, we still get calls as to where they are in process. And this will be able to inform our residents a little bit more as to what we're doing.
That's great.
So we're very excited with that.
Yes, we're looking forward to a lot of improvements on the website, and
Yes.
this will certainly be one of the big ones. And you just mentioned the small businesses in town, the Small Business Advisory Council. We've had that going for quite a while now. And I know we had a big seminar recently. Can you talk a little bit about small business in the town and the advisory council as well?
Right. I think any municipality always looks to land that big company. But one of the things we always knew was important to the town was the various small businesses that are working, whether that be a home-based business or in some of our smaller strip malls or anything else that we have. So we really looked at to how we can help the small businesses. And on a very snowy night in January, we had over 100 small businesses that are interested in moving to the town, starting up in the town. And we really gave them the toolkit needed from a financial aspect, from what is out there for assistance in the lending institutions, also the support mechanisms from the chambers, you know, the entrepreneurial programs and those type of things that small businesses are 24/7, and they can't do everything and be good at everything when it comes to that. So we really kind of looked at what were the supports that they needed to keep their business thriving. And we ended the evening with Chief Hyder doing something, a seminar conversation on the small businesses and what they need to do to protect themselves from a business operation, the white-collar crime. So it was a very good seminar. We actually got a couple of leads for businesses coming into the town, so we're working with them now and trying to find them locations. So it was very, very good.
Excellent. I know we received a lot of compliments from the business owners and people that are interested in starting a business that attended the seminar. So it was very successful, and hopefully, in another period of time here, we'll come up with another seminar that will help to educate people in town that are looking to start a business.
Well, actually, we're even taking that next step further. One of the things that we found was small businesses were trying to maneuver their way through the permitting process. And that's even the large businesses. What does the landlord need to do to get their tenant in? So in the fall of this year, we're looking at a process permitting forum. So we're going to have that, show all the changes that have come to the permitting process that we've made over the past few years. Our building code enforcements will be there. So the questions that they ask us on a day-to-day basis, we're going to try to have that information ready for them as well.
That's great.
And then put all that information on our website too.
That's excellent. And we visit a lot of these small businesses throughout the year. we are constantly cutting ribbons, it seems like, all over. And when in a location where a business moves out, it's a short period of time before a new business moves in. So there's a lot of activity and a lot going on. And when our small business owners first get into business and they have that first ribbon cutting, it's just so exciting. Many of them are starting businesses that they've dreamed about and finally able to go forward with it. And you know, small businesses are the backbone of our economy. And oftentimes, you know, we're out and about around town and shopping in some of these small businesses, and ask the owners, how are things going, and the economy's picking up and they seem to be doing well and really enjoy what they're doing. So it's very important to provide them with the resources that they need, and part of our job in town is to help to educate the small business owners, people that are just beginning, so that they understand, you know, we are a good resource and we can help you navigate the system so that you understand what you need to do and, you know, why it's important to do these things. And so the Small Business Advisory Council has been very helpful. And I know, you know, your wife, Diane, LaCivita, has served as chair from the beginning, and we thank her for her volunteer service. It really means a lot to our small business programs in town, and so we're glad that we could offer that service. And
well, I think one of the other things that go along with that is the reward that you get. I mean, I know our office works very hard. You know, the people in our office work very hard on getting people in and up and operating, and there's nothing more rewarding. We're saturated with, you know, the commercial activity from the larger companies where you don't really get to meet the business owner. It's typically the general manager of that property, but there's nothing more rewarding going into a small business, talking with the owner, getting honest and true feedback as to the process, as to how things are going. And that helps us develop and help us change. And make sure we're meeting the milestones that they need. A lot of them come to us already wanting to be open last week. So it's trying to expedite getting those approvals, and that's really the true reward for us.
Yeah, and we have streamlined our process for permitting. We've streamlined it so that it's much more efficient, and we've taken out a lot of duplication and saved costs, saved money for the individuals that come in for the permits, but also from the town's perspective, the more efficient we can be, the more work we can get done in a quicker manner. So getting rid of a lot of that duplication, triplication, it's very helpful for the business owners, and it's very helpful for us. So we keep working on things so we can get it the best it can be. But I know your office has done an awful lot in that area, and so we're glad it's helped to make the process so much better. And so we'll keep working on those things. And again, you know, as I say, we get phone calls to stop in and cut the ribbon with the owners and things like that. So lots of ribbon cuttings. We work in collaboration with the Albany Colony Chamber and the Colonie Chamber, and it's very exciting for them as well because they play a role in helping these small businesses get started as well. So, you know, it's a collaborative process, and the more that we can work together, the better the results for everybody. So we will continue that, and we look forward to new businesses in town, and also we have lots of options for our residents and our visitors. We certainly, anything you need, you can find just about everything in the town of Colonie.
Absolutely.
So, and we also in our economic development plan, we have focused on redevelopment. And if you drive around the town of Colonie, it's hard to you know, not see all of this redevelopment that's going on. We've had some really major developments here in areas where the buildings or malls, whatever is there, they've been there for many years, either abandoned or underutilized, and that's something we don't want to see. We would like to revitalize those sites and reuse that land that's already been used, and oftentimes the infrastructure's there, may need some improvements, but they're in areas that are commercial areas, commercial corridors, and you don't want to see them run down and abandoned. It's not good for anybody. So we have had, last year we had a great year. 2012 was a great year. We started off 2013 on a great path here, and things are just booming. Just to take one area, you take a look at the commercial area of the Route 9 corridor.
Right.
Everybody and their brother is stopping and saying, boy, I'm so glad to see that Latham Mall come down, and so glad to see the Starlight come down, and the old, I think it was Kiss Kiss on Sparrowbush Road. These are areas that desperately needed improvement, and it's happening.
Yeah.
Well, maybe you could speak to, I know you can't get through all of them, but speak to some of the major redevelopment sites in town.
Well, I remember when we first met, and talking about in 2008 when we came in, said, what did you really want to focus on from an economic plan? And part of that was getting rid of the tired, abandoned, and vacant sites.
Yes.
And we came up with the redevelopment regulations to try to expedite the process. And I got to say, the town departments, working with them, the TDEs, and the developers, that really was the partnership that needed to be made. And DOT, the Department of Transportation. Yes. They control our major corridors where all these sites that were abandoned sit on. So they had kind of a say, and they were the permitting process. So putting that team together really helped expedite the process through through all these different projects. Latham Mall is coming down. We see that now. It's exciting because we see our residents drive by it every day. We get a lot of commuter traffic that goes by it every day. You're going to see Dick's Sporting Goods coming in there. We don't know what that second site is yet. We're hoping to find out soon, but they know that developers has already mentioned that. We have, as you mentioned, the Kiss Kiss Tire, Cotman's on Route 9 again. That's been demolished. They're going through their final phases of approvals now, replacing that with 54,000 square feet of storage. It's a great use for that corner because it's a high traffic volume again. You got the Leah project that's going on, 9,000 square feet of redevelopment right next to Red Robin. We have Saints Plaza. All highly visible, once abandoned sites are now being repurposed, and we're turning them into tax-generating properties again. That's, I think, the most important key to see, is that we're getting tax generation.
Yes, yes, and our assessed value between residential and commercial went up a lot in 2011, and then in 2012 we had another major increase. I think it was a little over 24 million. So those properties, are bringing in, helping our total assessed value for the town, which helps our taxpayers. And you have to keep looking at everything, because you're balancing out, providing that high level of quality of services for our residents, excellent public safety, police, EMS, fire services, all of these things, the costs keep going up and up and up, and in order to keep it balanced, you need to keep your town so that it's prosperous and revitalized in areas where it needs to be, and it just keeps everything going. So it's that constant balance. You're never bored, that's for sure. There's always something going on. But there just have been so many redevelopments. The Starlight area as well. Yes. I don't think you mentioned that one. That's a big one that we all have a lot of memories about. Back when it was the Colonie, it was the Colonie tent, the Colonie Coliseum, the Starlight. Many of us, our children have their graduation ceremony at the Starlight, and that is an area that was prime for redevelopment, and so that everything's been demolished, and so that's a great site as well. And everybody's talking about the new look of the Stewart's shops in town. And we all grew up with Stewart's, and so this new look that they've taken on in the town really add to the whole look of the entire area, and people just love to see the buildings come in, and when they're redeveloped, that they fit into the demographics, what's in that area and how do they fit in. So it's very pleasing to the eye when you're driving through or stopping by.
And Stewart's is a key example of working with a developer or a company who is willing to work with the township
Yes.
in order to meet the goals of an economic plan and the comprehensive plan and the design standards that they have to work within. When we typically see the brick and the mansard roof, and they have another style in their portfolio, and you kind of point them in a direction to say, look at some of the development that's happening within this corridor.
Right.
We'd like you to be a part of it. And then they come right back and say, well, here's what we would think, and here's what we think would fit in, and it blends in perfect.
It
and now
does.
you're starting to see them throughout the township.
Yes.
So that's where you say the partnership that was developed between the town and a developer, it's fantastic.
Yeah, it's that communication that's necessary, and that collaborative process to say,
Yes.
this is what our residents are asking for. This is what we think would be good here, and what are your suggestions, and striking that balance. So it's the product itself is better in the end for everybody.
And that's exactly it too, is bringing the residents into the process as well. Our neighborhood associations, our planning board process, all that has changed enough to where everyone feels that they can have a voice now into the
Yes.
process, and they're making the projects much, much better.
They are, and we try our best. The developers try their best, and the residents as well. And we can't always deliver everything just the way everyone wants it, but just to be a part of it and come to consensus as part of that process it's very important to everybody
Yes.
that's involved. So the residents, that's a key piece as well. So we spent a lot of time on improving that communication and working with everyone to improve as I say, the end product.
Right.
It's what we're looking for. And I know, there's some other things going on around town. We've got Transtech, that's a technology company that's moving to the Latham area. Is it Old Niskuna Road? Is that where they are?
Yes, 400 Old Niskuna.
And I think the Marini company is building their warehouse also
Right next
in
door
that
at
area.
388, yes.
So some of those different types of areas are also attractive to different types of companies. And part of that is our location is so strategic. We're located between Albany and the Nano College and Malta, Saratoga, Global Foundries. We're getting a lot of that spin-off, the spin-off companies.
Yes.
Our location not only lends to the ease of getting to any of those other locations, but also, we have our Albany International Airport here, and many options for housing, new housing developments going around as well. Excellent school districts. We have the whole package, and our location is key as part of that package. So we are getting some of the tech companies interested in town as well, and some of the other businesses that are spin-off businesses from the technology arena.
And that's key too. I mean, a lot of residential housing is coming in, and it's truly not impacting the school system as of yet. I know, I hear that a lot of time from residents. I see a lot of housing impacting the school. Well, we meet with the school system every year, as you know.
Yes.
And they look at our projections, we look at their projections. How many houses are coming online this year? And as one child ages out, you have another one coming in to backfill. Then we have the population that's downsizing. The aged
Yes.
is downsizing in the homes. So we're trying to find a little bit for everyone within it. We're talking to developers when they're coming in. When we ask them what their price points are, we're looking to see if they could somehow soften that so the person who wants to stay within the town can stay within
Right.
the town. And developers are amenable to that as well. So that's why I say that partnership that we talked about earlier, developers are open-minded now, because what used to be a timely process has now helped them. So they're getting to market quicker. So they're looking to try to help us as well, to try to maintain.
Yes, and that's and that's very important. It is important, as you say, to look at the different populations because they have different needs. You have first home buyers, or maybe moving into that second house, their dream house. What can they afford, and what are they looking for in the area? And then we have the largest aging population around, and so we also work to try to provide some options there as well, and that needs to continue because there's the middle income group there that we're looking to try to find more in that price range for our people. So, again, that's something that we work with our director of senior resources as far as analyzing the needs and what are we going to need in the future, and I think that need for the aging population is just going to increase as time goes on.
Yes.
So it's critical to look at all of those things as we go forward.
Yes.
And again, the residential housing, we've got housing developments going up on the north side, the south side, up in the Bout area. Quite a few options there.
And they're all offering, I'm sorry, but they're all offering amenities,
Yes.
which are truly part of, again, the comprehensive plan. It's that connectivity,
Yes.
one matching to another, being able to walk freely through the residential components, to attach to our bike paths, attached to something that they can get to. So it's not just walking in your own neighborhood. You can get to see different open spaces that some of these
Right.
residential neighborhoods are being provided for now.
And without having to go on a main highway.
Correct.
And
Correct.
when you live in a suburb, that's very important because we all know suburbs are centered around main highways
Yes.
as you move out into your residential areas. And in planning, that's critical as well because you want to keep your suburban areas suburban and your commercial quarters lively and filled with options that your residents want.
Yes.
And we have a very large population here, about 82,000 people, and we have many thousands going through town, visiting or shopping in the area, or stopping in for some type of business, whatever. So
Right.
we have a large population here that we serve.
Yes.
So lots of needs, and with lots of needs goes lots of options. So that's going, very, very well. One of the other areas that we continually look at is the Route 5 corridor. We've studied that for our land use law to see what types of things would help to spur development on that corridor because again, the demographics are different throughout the town, and they have different needs on the Route 5 corridor and the areas that come off of that Route 5. And we have worked with CDTA, with the new Bus Plus, the new routes, which not only cut down the time to get from Albany to Schenectady, Schenectady to Albany, they have to pass through Colonie, obviously, but they've done some work to improve safety around the shelters, the crosswalks, lighting, things like that. So we certainly welcome any type of improvements along that corridor, as well as working with the state, because that's
Yes.
that highway is a state highway, and so we do work with DOT on trying to improve things in that area as well. And over the past couple of years, we've amended the land use law so the green space fees were fair for redevelopment, which for the Route 5 corridor, that's key.
It would make a big improvement there, and that change in the land use law really, really helped, and it actually kind of dovetails to the inventory study that we did.
Right.
You're really trying to work with developers to look at what they can put in that corridor, what would actually work. A lot of storefront, a lot of accessibility to walkers. You already have the sidewalks there, and you have that commuter worker that's getting on the CDTA. So you really try to see what amenities they need through the planning process, because again, they are walking, they're biking. So there's a large pockets that we need to do there, and that's what we talk to developers about, is the potentially that acquisition of multiple parcels to see what they can put in. And speaking of sidewalks, of course, we're working on the Route 9, the long since desired walking to safety for Siena students and everyone else that goes along that area. DOT's been an excellent partner to work with, and Siena College as well, and the business community. We're working with all the different ones along the Route 9 area to get sidewalks from Spring Street all the way down to Newton Plaza and on to the village of New Loudon, and then further on. So that's a very, very exciting project coming up. Design is already there. And
that is going to be very helpful, and it's going to improve safety. And you mentioned the New Loudon, the village of New Loudon, which is another new project on that Route 9 corridor, and it just has so much potential, and it sounds like it's going to be beautiful.
And that's another exciting component. Everything that we're doing really addresses the comprehensive plan, and we've tweaked it to make it address the comprehensive plan. You made that village look. It's hard to make a village look on a 4-lane highway.
Yes.
But we're doing it. And the sidewalks, it's all part of that safety. It's all part of that, answering what the designs were intended to, but putting it in 2012 and 13.
And fitting into the comprehensive plan. So all of those things, come together, as you say. And for the sidewalks as well, we are working with DOT, and we're working with the Siena College, National Grid. There are a lot of components there. But the individual that really helped us to get this accomplished was Assemblyman Bob Riley.
Yes.
He worked on the grant for us and did a great job for Siena and the town. And so that was one of his goals, to help improve safety for the travel back and forth for the students from Siena and residents that live in the area.
Yes.
And he made sure, that happened. So we thank him for that.
Yeah.
There's one other thing, before we run out of time, I'd like to talk a little bit about our new passive park, which is down on River Road at the old Latham Water Treatment Plant location. That many people know that site, and if you drive on River Road, you now know that old plant that was falling apart is gone.
Yes.
And maybe you could talk a little bit about our new Riverside Landing Passive Park.
This has been a fun project for me because it takes me back to my college days as a landscape design and architecture. We're really taking that old park, or that old land of the former water plant, and turning it into a park, answering the needs of the community. How can we connect from River Road? What amenities are they looking for? And everything came back to be passive. What once had some sports fields, uses, things like that, we found that the community didn't really want that or really desire that, because we had other places to do it. So it really became a passive. It's going to be a walking park. We're going to have specimen trees throughout the location. We're going to have kiosks throughout to give a little bit of history of what the rail station was, where the bike path is now, and what was happening in that area. We're going to have bird houses. We're going to hopefully try to attract animals and the different type of butterflies or anything like that through it. So we're really making it something that people can come, relax, enjoy, come off the bike path into a picnic table setting. We're going to have those. We're going to have 10 picnic tables. We're going to have bathrooms. We're going to have a more parking than we ever had before. So again, it's really leave it part of the community, takes what once was blighted, make it a passive use that people will enjoy. And we're very excited about it.
Yeah, and it does have that connectivity to the bike path, which brings you along the river, and it's really going to be a nice addition for us, something that we've needed along the river, and we've for a long time wanted to see that old building come down. It was unsafe and just not very pleasing to look at, and just wasn't doing anything for anybody. Now the tanks will stay, because the tanks they're still used for storage for water. So, but it's part of that site, and as you say, people should be able to go there and relax, or hop onto the bike path, whether walking or biking. And our Conservation Advisory Council has also talked to us about maybe working on some of the bird houses for a little area, so that when you can go sit there and kind of look around, or just to see the different types of birds that are there.
Yes.
I think we even just had a couple of owl houses
Yes,
donated.
they were donated. Yeah.
So that's that's very interesting. So we're really looking forward to that, and hoping that we'll be able to have it open this summer.
Yeah.
So we'll see how things go. It's been graded for the most part, and
yeah, it's been graded from what we had existing. The piles of some of the spoils that were dumped there years ago through water breaks and things. One of the things I forgot to mention is we're working now with North Colonie Shop class, the tech class. We've talked with them. I've given the drawings to their teacher there, and they may be able to construct the boardwalk that's going to take us from the park right to the bike path, because there's some wetlands we have to pass. And we're working with the Canal Corp, the New York State Canal Corporation. Very excited about the project. In fact, they're asking us to look at the other side of the bike path and how we can connect people to the waterways.
Right.
So there's another partnership that we've developed. But when I engaged the North Colonie shop class, the teacher over there, Eric Phillips, extremely excited, wants to see how we can get the kids engaged. Gave them all the specs. He says, okay, I'll get right back to you, and hopefully we can get them going and build that for us.
Okay, and we'll have to be sure, because we're aging ourselves when we call it shop class. It is technology, so we have to be
Yes.
sure we do that. And on that note, we're just about out of time. So thank you very much, Joe, for being here
thank you for
today
having
and
me.
providing us with this update. And as we drive around town this summer, fall, and the spring of 14, I think a lot of these major projects will be done, and really nice to
Yes.
not only to look at, but also going to provide a lot more options for us. So thank you so much
You're
for
welcome.
being here today.
Thank you.
And thank you for joining us on Colonie Connect.